Hey, it's Niall. I found this video from popular finance YouTuber Mark Tilbury, where he recommends the laziest way to make money online for beginners, more than $100 a day, so more than $3,000 per month.
Setting up an AI-built Shopify store is a great shortcut for anyone looking to start e-commerce without the typical learning curve. So if you're looking for a low-effort, highly scalable way to make money online, an AI-built Shopify store might be your best bet. It's passive income that you can manage from anywhere without the need to be an influencer, invest heavily, or manage shipping yourself.
In another video a few weeks ago, Mark doubles down on that recommendation, this time claiming in the thumbnail that you can earn $5,797 per month. He actually sets up an online store in this video in only an hour. He shows the store here selling sports equipment. Then he runs one $50 marketing campaign on Instagram, basically paying an account with 15,000 followers to promote one of the products on his store. His results from doing all that?
10 genuine purchases for £13.42 is £134.20, and converted to US dollars is $170.85. But of course, not all of that is profit. Our total cost came to $90.50. That leaves us with a profit of $80.35.
So not a huge profit, but it sounds like it only took 3 days from starting the store to making those sales. And Mark says at the end of the video,
this was all done with minimal effort, using AI tools and a budget of just $1 to set everything up and $50 for marketing. Now, imagine scaling this. If we promoted 20 products and they kept ticking along making regular sales, this could easily turn into thousands of dollars in profit every month.
All right, I'm going to give this a try myself. I already have 28 pages of notes here in a Google Doc. I'm going to document everything I'm doing, and we'll see if Mark's lazy way to make thousands of dollars per month is legit or full of shit. First step is to set up the store. So let's get to it. Okay, I just spent an hour and 17 minutes setting up my store, which you can see here. The URL is fur-babies.store. That domain is free for the first year. I decided to go with the pets niche. As you can see, there are a bunch of products preloaded in there. Now, Mark said he set up his store in an hour.
There we go, all done and just in time.
It took me a bit longer than that, mainly because there were several extra steps that Mark skipped over in his video, or maybe they've been added since Mark's video. Either way, it wasn't as straightforward as I expected. And I'm still not done because I haven't figured out how to update these placeholders on the terms and conditions page. You'd think that would be easy, but it isn't. Also, I wasn't able to load any good trending products into my store, and I've yet to test it all out and make sure that people can actually make a purchase through the website. I'm keeping track of all my expenses in this sheet, and I have indeed only spent $1 so far, which aligns with Mark's claim in his video.
I must use free AI tools and keep the total cost of the shop creation to under $1.
However, there were some sneaky upsells for AutoDS, and best I can tell, it actually now costs $16 for the initial sign up to get all the features Mark talked about. But I was able to find this discount code that brought the cost back down to $1 for me. Anyway, I'm now up to 73 pages of notes in my Google Doc, and I've sketched out my next steps here at the bottom. I'll get back to it tomorrow. All right, so it's actually 2 days later, and I've spent another hour and a bit working on this. The more I get into this, the more I'm realizing that Mark skipped over a lot of things in his video, and made everything seem much easier than it actually is. For example, I still haven't figured out how to update the terms and conditions page. I've also had a bunch of errors when trying to load new products into my store, like there and there. But eventually I was able to get that working, and now I have a few extra items in there. This is big. Mark never mentioned in his video that you need to connect your store to a payment processor like PayPal. Lucky I realized I needed to do that, and lucky I already have a verified PayPal account that I can use. But if you don't have that, it might be a pain to set up, and it will surely slow you down. Also, in his video, Mark just happened to know some guys with an Instagram account who would be willing to promote his product for $50.
I've reached out to a couple of lads I know called the Grays Brothers. They've been making short videos for a couple of years now and have around 14.5 thousand followers on Instagram.
I had to start from scratch and try to find an influencer on Instagram in the pet niche that I could reach out to. I had a quick search and I found this woman, and I've DM'd her to see if I can arrange a paid promotion. So that's where I'm at so far. I'm about 2.5 hours into this, and I've still only spent that $1 on AutoDS, though I should see a $1 charge for Shopify come through tomorrow. Okay. It is now 2.5 weeks later. I ended up reaching out to 6 influencers on Instagram. I heard back from 2 and had some back and forth with them, but ultimately they both stopped replying, and I still haven't been able to run a promotion for my store. I also found this Collabster platform that makes it easy to find and hire influencers. I tried booking one influencer that way, but they rejected my offer as well. And I should mention that $50 was the lowest price I saw for a promo on there, even for micro influencers. So it turns out that finding influencers to promote your store is the hardest part of this whole thing. Mark already had a relationship with an influencer who was happy to run a promotion for only $50, and they made and posted that video within 2 or 3 days. But if you're like me and you don't already have a relationship like that, it's going to take a lot more time and effort to get this thing off the ground. And I think a key thing here is how basic my AI-built store looks. It doesn't exactly scream trustworthiness. Now, in Mark's case, that didn't really matter since his influencer buddy knew he was trustworthy. But if you're doing cold outreach to influencers like I was, then a generic looking store like this isn't going to help you make a good first impression. And do you notice anything strange about my store? Yeah, most of the prices are now in the millions. I noticed last week that the prices started increasing on their own, and they've kept going up and up and up. I have no idea why that's happening, but it goes to show that an AI-built store can have a mind of its own, and it's not always easy to identify and fix issues like this. But hey, if you want to buy a dog umbrella for $105 million, this is the site for you. Now, Mark did refer to this whole thing as
a low effort, highly scalable way to make money online.
I ended up spending almost 5 hours trying it out, a good bit more than the 2 or so hours that Mark said it would take, and ultimately I didn't make any money. Thankfully, my expenses ended up only being $2 since I couldn't find an influencer willing to promote my store for $50. But even if I had run a $50 promo, I would have had to make 98 sales to break even. And I think it was very unlikely that that was going to happen. Plus, I would have had to ship the product to the influencer so they could make a video about it. That's an additional expense that Mark neglected to mention in his video. Would have cost me about $18. Mark says this business is quite scalable.
Imagine scaling this. If we promoted 20 products and they kept ticking along making regular sales, this could easily turn into thousands of dollars in profit every month.
Given my experience, I completely disagree. it was really hard to find even one influencer to promote one product in my store. So trying to promote more products with more influencers sounds like a ton of work. In conclusion, I'm sure this business model can work for some people, but I absolutely would not describe it as the laziest way for beginners to make money online. If you're starting from scratch like me, you're going to have to put in quite a bit of time and effort to get this off the ground, and a lot more time and effort to scale it to thousands of dollars per month. Last thing, I ended up with more than 150 pages of notes in my Google Doc. I'll make it public and link to it in the description. Feel free to check that out. If you found this video at all insightful, please do go ahead and click that like button. Only takes a second, but it helps me out a lot. And please consider subscribing to the channel if you want to see me test out other ways to make money online. Eventually, I'll stumble upon something that works really well, and as a subscriber, you will be the first to know.